Hello everyone, this is Michael, aka Faithful Raider, and this is my intro vlog to my HCG diet. Want to just go ahead and give a little bit about myself and what my plans are and my goals and my hopes and my fears and just kind of what I'm expecting to get out of this, and yeah, that's what this video is for. First I want to give a shout out to my brother Tony. Hey Tony, what's up? And my sister-in-law Kathy, his wife. Just want to say that they've been a great inspiration to me, and they've done really well on HCG, and I'm hoping to do as well as they've done so far. So keep it up, guys, and look forward to hopefully following in your footsteps. Just a little bit about myself. I've done lots of diets in the past, and I haven't really had long-term success on any of them. I've done everything from the cabbage diet, where you just eat the cabbage soup pretty much all the time, the lemonade, cayenne pepper, maple syrup cleanse. I did that for a couple weeks, lost some weight, and then immediately came right back. Obviously, that's like, I can't believe people actually do that diet. It makes no sense at all. And it's just something that can't be sustained for, at least myself, for a long period of time. It's just, I hated that diet, and I probably will never do that one again. I've done low calorie, I've done low fat. Low fat diets are very tough for me, and they're not very successful, just from my own personal experience. I've done low carb, I've done Atkins, I've done Sugar Busters, I've done different variation of them. I tried South Beach. Atkins has been the most successful for me. I've lost a good portion of weight. I've lost probably 30-40 pounds every time I went on the diet. I've never been able to do it more than just a few months, and every time when I've stopped, I go right back to my old eating habits, and the weight comes right back, and that's been pretty frustrating for me. I do always kind of feel like if I ever really need to lose weight, I can lose some weight fairly quickly on a low carb diet, but in the back of my mind I know that as soon as I stop, I'm going to go right back to the carbs, and the weight's going to come right back. So I've not been able to motivate myself to go back on a low carb diet for those reasons. It's just, for me, it's very difficult to sustain those diets. So hopefully HCG will do better for me. Like I said, my brother has kind of got me interested in doing this diet. I've never really heard very many good things about HCG. I've had some friends who've done the HCG diet before. None of them have been successful on it, and I've always heard that it's very difficult. The 500 calories thing has always been in my mind, like, how can someone be on a diet and only eat 500 calories and be able to sustain it and lose weight and not be hungry? That's my biggest fear of this diet, is being hungry. I have had difficulty with hunger on diets in the past, and that's usually the #1 reason that I fail at diets. It's not, oh, I want to cheat, it's I have no choice, I'm just too hungry to be able to continue on this diet. So hopefully with HCG I can overcome that and be able to stick to this diet for long term. In terms of my vitals, I'm 6'1", I'm 329 pounds as of this morning when I hopped on the scale at work. That's not my highest weight, but it's closing in on it. The highest weight I've ever had recorded was 333 on the same scale, and that was about a year ago. And at that time, I did lose some weight. It was maybe a little bit over a year. I worked on losing weight. I got down to just over 300. I was about 303, and then I got back off the low carb, and I was on low carb, and the weight has slowly crept back on. It's kind of bounced around up and down, but it's been, the last few months has been going up again, and I've noticed it, and I'm ready to do something about it and hopefully make a long-term commitment to get a weight down to a healthier level. So my goals in long term are to be at under 200 pounds. 199. If I got to 199, I'd be very excited and very pleased with that amount of success. But for me, that's 130 pounds. So finding a diet that's going to be able to allow me to not be hungry and have success on a long-term basis, long enough to be able to lose 130 pounds, has been a challenge for me, and I'm hoping HCG is the diet that will do it. So I'm planning on doing about 4 rounds of HCG based on my calculations, which is going to be about the better part of a year on this diet. So it needs to be able to work for me. It needs to help me control my hunger and control my eating for me to be able to do that long of a time. That's my goal. I do hope to lose about 30 pounds on each round, and that will probably vary, but that's what I'm planning on. I'll more than likely lose a little bit more than that on my first round and lose less as we go along, but we'll see as we go. Anyway, I've kind of got my mindset and that it will be about a year. So that's my long-term goal. Some of my fears that I have about this diet, as I've said, is that I will not control my hunger. Right now, when I'm on a diet, I think about food constantly, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And when I'm on a low carb or a low calorie diet, all I'm doing and thinking about is what can I eat, what can I, put in my stomach so that I'm not hungry. And I know that low carb has kind of helped me in some ways controlling my hunger, but in a lot of ways, for me personally, I get very strong cravings to cheat when I am low carbing, like overwhelming desires to just start eating carbs like crazy. So, which normally I'm not a very carb eating person per se. I would much rather eat proteins than carbs, proteins and fats than carbs. But when I am low carbing, I get really bad cravings for carbs. So my fear is that on HCG, that will be worse because the foods are very similar to low carb, and especially in the later phases. And hopefully my plan is to kind of make the later phases look more like a low carb diet, and try to keep the carbs under control, because I know that works for me in the past. So in the short term, and then in the other phases, hopefully the HCG will help control those the cravings that I get for carbs when I'm doing this. And it does allow a little more carbs than a traditional Atkins diet, and hopefully with that as well, that it will be able to keep the cravings away and keep my hunger in check too. As you may or may not know, I have a huge appetite. I can sit down and eat plates and plates full of food, and I just don't know if it's something hardwired in my brain, but I will eat when I'm not hungry. The feeling of fullness is never, it takes a lot of food for me to feel full and not want to eat. So I can eat an entire pizza by myself, and usually in one sitting, if I wanted to. I don't usually do that, but if I wanted to, it's no problem for me to eat that amount of food, and then later, a few hours later, be able to eat something else. So that is one reason that I feel that I have always struggled with my weight, and it's a hunger that's insatiable. Exercising never seems to help with that, and usually makes it worse. I haven't found a diet yet to be able to keep that in check. And other things like just ways of distracting myself, it never really goes away. I'm always trying to avoid being hungry and trying to feel, more than that, just trying to feel full. It takes a lot for me to feel full. So from what I've heard, the HCG may be able to help with that, the feeling of, not wanting to eat all the time and have that feeling of, the fullness, or, not craving for food like I usually have. So those are some of my fears that about HCG and about other diets, and so I'm looking forward to find out if this is the one that helps me with that. So my plan is I'm using the 2000 IU HCGs, the high potency, high purity, and my initial goal will be to start at 150 IU injections. I am planning on starting tomorrow. This is why I'm doing this video today, and I'll be loading for tomorrow and the next day, and after that I'll be on my very low calorie days. So I've tried to try to schedule out a time where I think it would be best to start. I actually was planning on starting 4 days from now, but I've got all my stuff in now. I do want to say that I ordered my things through escrow refills, and they were awesome about getting the stuff here. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but I know people who look for places to get HCG and look for people who've ordered from places before. My brother had ordered from them before and recommended them to me. I gave them a try. I got my stuff here in a little over a week. Remember, like 8 or 9 days, my stuff was here, and I was not prepared for it to be that fast. So I didn't have my bacteriostatic water. I didn't have my mixing vials. I didn't have any of my stuff ready yet by the time that my HCG was here. So kind of caught me by surprise. But I'm really anxious to get started, so I got the rest of my things ordered, and everything is here now, except my new scale, which should be here tomorrow. But I've been using my scale at work, which is fairly accurate. They calibrate it fairly often. So, and I checked on 2 different scales; they were both the same. So I'm fairly confident about my starting weight today. But I will be rechecking to get my weight after the loading days, because that's what I'm going to start officially counting with, because that'll be the high point for me. So I do plan on probably gaining a couple pounds in the next day or 2 while I'm loading. So I'm not too worried about where I'm at right now, but where I'm going to be at in a couple of days is where I'll start counting, and hopefully from there I'll be able to lose between 30 and 40 pounds. I think that from what I've seen and heard, plus knowing my own body, that's hopefully where I'll be at. If I'm under that, I may be a little frustrated, but even somewhere in the 20s in a month, I think a pound a day would be pretty good. I am planning on doing 28 days at this time. I will be skipping Sundays after the first Sunday. Likely Sunday. I may switch to skipping, but I am skipping 1 day a week. The reason I'm doing 28 days is I want to try to avoid HCG immunity, where it's no longer effective for me. Since I am doing 4 rounds and I have so much weight to lose, I do want to keep that in mind. I know that some people do longer rounds where it's 40 days. For me personally, I would love to do 40 days if it's working. But I think in the long term, if I do shorter rounds, I can do more of them, and in the long term would be more effective for me. So that's my plan, is going 28 days. I did order 2 of the 2000 IU vials. The reason why is because I will be mixing a new one every 14 days. I've been told that that is more effective, and that it keeps HCG at higher potency, and I feel that if it's working better for me and I'm mixing a little more often, and it does cost a few dollars more, but in the long run, if it's more effective, then I'm willing to do that. So that's my plan. I am doing 150 IU, as I mentioned, injections. I'm not worried about giving myself injections. I give injections at work all day long. I see them around needles all the time. Needles don't worry me, and I'm sure I don't have a problem doing my injections. And I am worried though about the dosing. I just want to make sure that 150 is the proper dose for me. Hopefully I feel pretty good on that. I do want to just kind of end on the note that this is kind of like, if this doesn't work for me, where do I go from here? Since I've tried so many other diets, I'm not quite sure. My sister has done surgery to help with her weight, and has been really successful with me. I guess if this doesn't work, that's where I'll be headed. I don't know if I want to do that. Though it's difficult. It's a difficult choice. So hopefully this is what works for me. And so I do plan on trying to do these as often as I can, especially during the first 28 days, just to help people out, to see what I've gone through, if I can give some recommendations. There's just not a lot of guide videos out there on HCG. There's a few, but not that many. That have one, that they're doing a log every day, and two, that have as much weight to lose as I have. I've seen some where they need to lose 20 or 30 or 40 pounds, and a single round is good for them. I have a lot more weight to lose, and I've been unsuccessful for so many years at trying to lose them with so many different diets, that I think a perspective on someone in my situation would be helpful to others. So, and then also something that I can look back at, and if I do have struggles on the later phases, that I can watch these and kind of get motivated as well to stay on protocol and to really focus on losing weight and doing what I need to do to be healthier. So I do want to be more active. I have a 6, almost 7-year-old daughter who needs me to be more active with her. I love being active, but my weight kind of prohibits some of the things that I can do. Luckily, I'm in fairly good shape for my weight. I'm on my feet all day long. I have good amount of energy. I don't have any problems with sugar or diabetes or heart problems or other asthma or any other things that a lot of people with my weight struggle with. So in that I've been very fortunate, but I need to be able to be more active, to do the things that I used to enjoy when I was at healthier weights, and I just feel like I can't do anymore. So that's my my goals and my plans. I look forward to starting tomorrow. I will have hopefully better kind of feel of how things are going. Tomorrow's my first injection. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully everything will go well over my first loading day. And I'll talk to you guys later.